Hey there, Chubs fans! Welcome to another fabulous edition of Chubs Gone Wild. And for our video viewers, you may know that Tom has a beautiful new look. It is a minimalist approach, but rest assured, it cost a lot to do. And on my side, we have cake. Lots of cake. I'll tell you why later. Anyway, welcome to episode 394, recorded on May 17th, 2021. It is currently, well, not quite there yet, but it's going to be 77 today and sunny, which is beautiful. 77 is a perfect temperature.
It's been, I mean, you wake up in the morning, you don't have to get up early because your room is already too hot. We've had the overcast, the overcast coming in from the bay. So in the morning it's cool and it's cloudy and it's just been delightful.
It has been. I have been sleeping in longer just because it's so nice and cool. It's beautiful. But it has been quite windy too.
Yes.
Yeah, which is not good for the allergies, but it's nice when you go out and you enjoy a beautiful breeze and you're like, oh God, this is so nice. It's almost like fall. And then you sneeze and cough and have to go inside.
Well, you know the meme with Nicolas Cage getting off the bus in Air America? Or no, was it Con Air? And it shows him shaking his hair and the wind's blowing.
Yes.
That's exactly how it's been feeling. And the nice thing is this is a westerly wind coming from the ocean, not a northern one coming from the desert.
Yes.
So that makes all the difference. I mean, I was actually cold last night.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, speaking of fall, it is 167 days till Halloween, 222 days until Christmas, and 48 days till Independence Day. And best of all, it's 231 days until season 2 of Call Me Kat airs on Fox. Yay! I'm so excited!
Yeah, good for you. My show got canceled.
Oh, I saw that actually. Nephi sent me an article. I'm so sorry. I know how much you really like that show. What was it again?
Yeah, exactly. All Rise.
Oh, All Rise. Okay, no, I didn't know that All Rise got canceled. That sucks.
Yeah.
No, there was another show
that
you watch that got canceled. American Housewife. That's the one it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't say I'm totally surprised.
Well, she was pregnant. The show was over anyway.
Exactly, right? So yeah, I was like, oh well, yeah, because the show was so good. The first couple seasons of it, I was right there. But I think when they had her quit her catering job instead of taking that into catering really weird shit,
there were so many possibilities.
Yeah, and I think they blew it. And for her to get pregnant again, it's like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah,
I was just waiting for you to get all the kids out of the house. I don't need a baby, thank you.
Well, the funny thing is that on The Good Doctor, that's the one about the autistic doctor, and he's a great surgeon, but he's autistic, so he doesn't know how to deal with people, and he's got a lot of social issues. Okay. Well, him and his girlfriend just got pregnant, and I'm like, okay, this is it. Another show that I'm going to have to stop watching. Well, she lost the baby, so I get to watch the show.
I don't know how to respond.
I know. Those things where, it was very sad, but the fact is, what's sadder is to lose the series going into because it was what I was telling Brian was that it would have gone into from being a kind of a very insightful kind of drama to a guy with autism trying to deal with a child, like a baby.
Right. How do I be a father? And then the whole series becomes about, learning how to be a father.
Well, how to deal with something that that doesn't understand what he's saying or what
Right.
he's doing. It doesn't understand logic or any of the things that he has control over. And so we were just, I'm thinking, okay, then it turns into a comedy kind of, because it has to be kind of silly because he's changing diapers, oh, the baby peed again and I just changed his diaper, why is this happening, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And you could almost take a comical view at that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that like I said, it's one of those. I'm glad for the series. I feel bad for the couple.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
And then, although we do have one thing to celebrate, one of the shows that got canceled was Call Your Mother.
Oh, thank God.
I know. And it's funny because when Nephi sent me that, he was also like, thank God. So yeah. What I'm so sad in a way because it was a good premise, but wow, was that a bad show.
It wasn't even a good premise because it's like, she follows her kids out to Los Angeles and then becomes like a barnacle. It was and nobody was interesting.
No. And not only that, but she goes there to smother the kids and, lose herself and be all codependent. And then it starts to be about her finding her own life. But that life was like really boring. I wanted more. I mean, this is something that you could have been like, if like the kids were actually interesting and worked in the entertainment industry. And then she like was this really awkward, kind of Lucy-ish, and ends up meeting a bunch of stars and fucking up, movies and stuff like that. It would have been, Fran Drescher could have done a better job with that series. Think about that.
No, I just don't think the series was good.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
First of all, it's called Call Your Mother and she's in their faces. So it's like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know how you could make that series good. I just don't know how, without completely rewriting it and calling it something different.
Well, right. And that's probably what it needed. Yeah. All right. Well, enough about that. Today we celebrate income tax payday.
Okay.
That's something to celebrate. Also, it's the International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia. So that rocks. We also celebrate cherry cobbler, mushroom hunting. Alrighty. Pack rat. We do not celebrate pack rats. Walnuts, Pinot Grigio. Or is it Pinot Grigio? Doesn't matter. Also, Shavat, World Hypertension Day. Oh, goodness. This is going to be a good one. Neurofibromatosis. I did it. Awareness Day. And also Telecommunication and Information Society Day. What a wonderful set of holidays to celebrate today. Today's right? Today's affirmation. I appreciate and care for my body. My cells have eternal youth. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get on to our Patreon page. Patreon offers folks a way to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and more. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint Nephi, Nick Sage from Zayu Navaz, Timothy, Eric, Brother Sinatus, Phoenix Dave, and Moose P. Please become a patron of the show over at patreon.com/MattBurlingame. And patrons, I am going to be contacting you to find out what kind of file you would like your Last Romance advanced reader copies for this week, because it will be up on Amazon by the end of this week, and then it will be officially released in June. Yay. All right. Well, it's time for birthdays. Guess what we got coming up?
Birthdays.
if the page would load. There we go. Yes. We want to celebrate. We want to send happy birthday wishes to Jackie, Earl, Ernest, Andy, Jesse. Oh, girl. It's Sean Wade's birthday.
Today.
It is your husband's birthday. Oh, girl. What you guys doing? Anything?
He's working.
He's working. When he gets home, are you gonna like greet him at the door wrapped in cellophane with a big bow and say, "Unwrap me, baby. Here I
think
am."
we really have that much cellophane, but no,
Oh.
no. He'll be tired after working 12 hours.
Well, he can lay down and you can, give him a little birthday love.
No, you know what the Golden Girls say. Never get on top.
Okay. And then and of course he doesn't like cake.
Right. So he's going to
So
get
weird.
breakfast food for dinner.
Oh, that sounds really nice. Are you going to give him some sausages or bacon?
Bacon.
Mm.
It'll be bacon and eggs on top of a hash brown cake.
Oh,
Yeah,
sounds awesome.
In there.
The maple kind? That sounds great. Okay, well, happy birthday to Sean. Also, happy birthday to that Kim Beaver, who turns 46 years old. We do love the Kim Beaver. And coming up this week, we want to celebrate birthdays for Jeremiah, Michael, Kim, Al, Rebecca Nay. She was from Tranny Rec Radio. And also that Jonathan, Sebastian, Stephen, or Sheldon Stephen. Sheldon Stephen is the creator of Cannonball. So,
okay. Are you going this year?
I wish. I don't think that I can afford it. And frankly, I'm still, even though it's later in the fall this year, I'm still thinking that this year is going to be more of I'm going to probably keep my mask on and not do a lot of travel and stuff like that. But I would love to go. I mean, and there's some beautiful chasers out there who would love to have me go, but one of these years, Chubs Gone Wild's gonna go and visit. Anyway, but happy birthday to him. Yeah, he is so beautiful. Also, Kevin, our Hedwig, has a birthday coming up, and Remo, Rebecca, and he's dead. Dum dum dum. So that's it. That's it for this week. Happy birthday, everybody. All right. Where are we? All right, feedback. We got one comment from Mr. Sean over on the YouTube video who said, only podcasting I've done, because I had forgotten the name of his podcast last episode. And he said, the only podcasting I'm doing is producing Jen, that's his wife, her podcast about Diablo games called Shattered Soulstone. I'm eating Hostess cupcakes right now because I'm sophisticated like that. I like Hostess cupcakes. I have a question for you, actually. Do you have much Hostess?
As far as what?
I mean, do you like eat Hostess products much?
I don't eat many sweets, so.
Because I was just wondering if you tried some of the Hostess, since they were reconstituted a few years ago.
Yeah, well, it's been a few years, so yeah.
Yeah.
The Suzy Q's taste pretty much the same.
They were really good. Yeah.
They seem smaller. The Twinkies, they're pretty much the same. The cupcakes are just so tiny, it's ridiculous.
Yes. Yep.
I don't know what happened with cupcakes, but they used to be much bigger when I was younger.
Yes, I will agree with that.
And I'm not talking Hostess cupcakes. I mean cupcakes in general. They've gotten so small. It's like, I remember like a decent bite. You could really, and now it's just like there's 2 bites on a cupcake. And how did that happen? The pans haven't changed.
No.
The things have the little cups, you know, the paper cups. They haven't changed. It's not that I've gotten that big.
Why, I was going to say that could have been part of it.
But something happened when they started selling cupcakes at cupcake stores.
For $5 a piece.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that tired old, the dried out, not that tasty. You don't even have tons of frosting on it, and you're selling it for $5. No.
Well, that wasn't really my point, but okay.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, if I'm going to spend $5 for a cupcake, it better stroke my nipples or something.
Well, I mean, you could get a fabulous cake for $20.
Yeah.
And there's more than 2 bites.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like the cake behind you. I really like the one off to the flowery one, and I like the lemon one. I don't trust the other two. Oh, there's a chocolate one behind your head.
Yeah.
It looks like it has marijuana.
I was gonna say that I don't know what that is on it. It's
Maybe
probably nut balls or something.
Candied flour.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. I kind of want them all except maybe that flowered one that looks weird.
Well, I don't know what's underneath that strawberry one. That worries me. And the woman, one of the judges on the Best Baker, is tired of drip cakes. So immediately I'm offended by it. And the other thing looks like it's surrounded by, are those lady fingers? The flower.
That one. Yeah, no, it's a drip cake without frosting on the sides.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, no.
No frosting? What why have cake?
Right. Anyway, okay.
Right.
So we had that moment. Thank you, Sean, for inspiring that moment. Oh, but I was gonna say, Hostess the pies. I used to fucking love Hostess pies, and now the new ones and everything. Not only are they like eating a brick, but they taste like they have some weird taste to them. Like, I don't know, bad oil or something. But anyway.
Well, you know what I found interesting is, because I was never actually a pie fan in the hand pies like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to try there's another brand, and I'm not sure what, it's not Little Debbie, it's a different brand than that. And I know they sell it at Food Co, the one up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, and they've got like exotic flavors like coconut cream, and
those are pretty good.
Yeah, and there was another one that I tried because it's like, ooh, that sounds really yummy. Yeah, so, and I would like to have one that was actually just blueberry. I don't like berries when they just go berry pie.
Yeah.
Because I really don't. The only thing I don't like about blackberries is the seeds.
Mm-hmm.
I like the taste of them, but the seeds are a pain in the fucking ass. So that's why I like blueberries more, because they don't have any, you know, they're nice and just nah.
Yeah.
Well,
blueberry's not my favorite, but
okay.
Yeah. Anyway, well, thank you, Sean. Let's see. Next up, we have our Chub Hugs. I'll throw a few out here. One, I want to send a Chub Hug to Toppy Smelly. He made a donation to the Big Day of Giving that I was doing a few weeks ago. And I just wanted to make sure that he knew that his donation was amazing. Thank you very much. Also, love out to Hermione, Ed and Mark's pup, who is doing much better and took a walk today and did very well. So excellent. And also love and healing energy out to one of our local boys. You know him better than I do, I think. But Marcus Allen, I said it right?
Yes.
So his son Jackson and some of his friends were around a campfire when somebody poured in, and I always forget what it is, but poured something in to make it go really high and big and everything, and it splashed out on two of them, including Jackson, and Jackson is burned over 25% of his body.
Right.
It's his arms, hands, and chest. So he's got a lot of healing to do. And so we just wanted to send him and his family out some love.
You know, and that is the thing that all parents, you know, are so worried about, is that your kids go out and, you know, you can trust your own kids. You know what your kids are capable of, right?
Yeah.
And the problem is that you can't deal with your friends. I mean, your kids' friends, you know, and and you always have some asshole that thinks, oh, let's make the fire bigger now. I've got gasoline.
Right.
You know? And it's like, okay, and like you've seen that one video where the guy is trying to start the fire and the fire comes back and hits the gas can, and he throws the gas can and it explodes, and then the whole backyard's on fire.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, you always, and that's why I don't like 4th of July. I know this is good. I'm tired. I'm, you know, a little tirade here, but that's why I don't like 4th of July. You get people drunk, and you know, especially, you know, I'm sure with kids, I'm sure there was probably some drinking going on. And next thing you know, someone thinks the fire needs to be bigger. I've got a can of gasoline.
Or hey, let's tie 3 of these fireworks together and set them on fire and see what they do.
Yes, exactly. Let's throw it in the fire. Oh, wow. You mean when it blows up, it's going to make all those coals fly at everybody? Oh, who would have thought?
Yeah. Or, you know, let's put the big illegal one down and then watch the dog run up and grab it and start running away.
Oh, that's
I've
horrible.
seen that video too.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. But, and of course, we've had for several weeks now already. They're starting with the illegal fireworks all around over here in our
Well, you
neighborhood.
heard what they're doing now. That not only do the people firing the fireworks get cited, but if they fire legal fireworks on your property, the homeowner gets cited as well now.
Good. Absolutely good.
I know, and it's like, because you can't get the safe and sane fireworks right now, so everything you're hearing is illegal.
Yep.
Yeah.
It sucks. But anyway, all right. Well, did you have any chub hugs that you wanted to send out?
Yeah, I want to send a chub hugs out to anybody that has to drive on these horrible roads that we have in Sacramento, and I'm sure they're everywhere. I'm sure this is a problem all across the country, but my two back windows in my car, they don't. They just kind of hold up. They don't roll down anymore.
Okay.
But when I'm driving down like last time I came to your house, both windows were down by the time I got to your house, because there's so many holes. The road's so uneven. They've gone through and they're trying to meter all of the Sacramento residents. So the last groups that have been having metering done are my area, your area, the Land Park area, and they've destroyed the roads, and they're not going to repave them. They're just going to kind of leave them that way. I swear it's like driving on cobblestone, and so everybody that has to deal with that, you know, people have to drive bikes on those roads. It must be horrible. Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. I'm sure that everybody else does. And the traffic is bad.
Yeah.
With so many people working remote, how can the traffic still be this awful? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm done.
No,
I haven't gotten out a lot until just the last couple weeks. And it's just a nightmare. Driving to KFC, one of the windows will be down.
Wow.
It's just awful. So.
Okay. Well, I understand. Actually, it's actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Lawrence and I took a ride, and we encountered that, and not the window problem, but
if you pull out of your driveway, you're gonna.
Well, yeah, that's true. But it was reminded me of when I was a kid, and we lived out in Roseville, and there was this one road. I don't know. I think it was called Eureka. And it went from like a normal city paved road into this old like dirt pothole. I mean, just like the whole car would just shake and shudder the whole way through it.
That's
And we used to drive an old Jimmy truck, GMC, and so we would always want to go fast. And you know, whoever was driving, depending on who it was, sometimes they would do it, sometimes they wouldn't. And then you go really fast, and there was this undulation, this like raise in the road, and if you went really fast over it, the truck would actually lift off the ground. And it felt like you were flying for just a second. It's like, you know, kid orgasm where you're just like, oh, so that was always so fun. But I'm sure the truck didn't appreciate it though.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing. I'm sure that all the mechanics in town are loving the new roads.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? You might end up,
people,
you know,
sell tires and stuff like that. They're having a good time.
and you know a lot of the mechanics in this town.
No, well, not anymore, but yes.
Yeah. All right. Hey, current topics. Disney High School Musical star Joshua Bassett comes out. What do you think about that?
I don't know who he is.
But don't you watch High School Musical?
I know, but I don't know what their names are.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, congrats to him. Welcome. Also, let's see. No one likes Caitlyn Jenner, according to a bleak new poll. What a surprise.
Oh yeah, I can't. Oh wow, he's the lead. He's Ricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Not really. Anymore, I just assume they're all gay.
Pretty much. In fact, when you watch Pooch Perfect, there's like one straight person on there, and like even Nephi said, "Bitch, you gay."
Well, you mean the fat guy, the son?
Oh no. I think the black guy, and because he's there with his wife, and it's like, oh girl, please.
I thought he was gay. I thought that wasn't his wife. That was like his sister.
Oh, was it? Okay, maybe I'm thinking of someone else then.
Well, because there's the one guy who is always trying to pick up on Rainn Wilson.
Oh, okay. Rebel Wilson, yeah.
And he's I think he's straight, but nobody's gonna fuck him. So you know, keep trying.
I think they're all gay. I think even the women are like little closet bisexuals or something.
Yeah. Brian always describes them as the not lesbians.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, so no one likes Caitlyn Jenner. That's not a big
no one
surprise.
does. They really don't.
I don't even think that her family likes her. I don't know.
So yeah, her running for governor, that's never gonna happen.
Yeah. Let's see.
Have you seen the commercials for the governors? You know, because people are already starting commercials.
No.
The one guy, and I can't remember his name because he's an asshole and I always forget his name. He ran for governor against Newsom, and he's been advertised. When he first said he was going to run, he had a live bear.
Oh yes, I saw that.
First of all, is this poor bear is being paraded around, you know, like a circus freak.
Yeah.
And he's this guy's, you know, it just is so typical GOP, you know.
Right.
And it's just so unforgiving. I mean, here's this bear on hot pavement.
Yes.
Trying to do party tricks for this asshole.
Yeah.
And to me, I look at that and the first thing I think of is, okay, you've got this beautiful bear out here in the heat on hot pavement, and you want him to perform tricks. That's you. That is exactly who you are as a person. Not you, but him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It really was disgusting. Anyway, but yeah. I just they're all crazy. So fuck all that. I just really hope Newsom wins again, and I think he will, but
Well, now everyone's mad at him because he doesn't want to dump the mask thing quite yet, and I'm okay
right,
with that.
right,
But anybody that I don't like wearing the mask because it cuts into my eyeball. But you know what?
yeah,
I'll deal with it if I need to go somewhere.
right,
Calm the fuck down, people. It's only 4 more weeks that they're saying we're going to go until June 15th, and then all masks come off.
right. And most of the people that I know and have seen on Facebook, especially Californians, who are all like, no, I think we'll keep this mask on for a while. I don't feel comfortable taking the mask off yet, which is totally understandable. So I think that a lot of people are just fine with it. But we always hear from the assholes because they've got the biggest mouths.
Well, Bill Maher got he's double vaccinated and wore a
Huh?
mask and still got COVID.
Ugh, yikes.
But you know what? He didn't know he had COVID, except when he went into work, they tested him as they test everybody during the show, and he came up positive for coronavirus. And you know why he didn't know he had it? Because he's been vaccinated.
Right.
And the thing is that he can't pass it on being double vaccinated. All he can do is catch it, right? It doesn't.
Yeah.
There's no longer that spreading of it. But what happens is that this just shows you that you know you can still get it's still only 95% effective.
Yep.
And so you still can get it, but you know what? You're not going to get sick, and you're not going to die.
Right.
And I honestly, I think that the reason the CDC did what they did by saying no more masks if you're fully vaccinated, but you should wear a mask if you're not. And you know that the people who aren't wearing masks are anti-vaxxers anyway. So what's going to happen is they're going to get COVID one way or another, so we can get to that herd mentality or immunity.
Yeah.
Herd immunity. We get to that point by them getting sick.
Right.
And hopefully not dying, but if they're going to, it's like you're on the moon and they say, don't go outside. There's no oxygen. You have to wear a mask. Well, you can't make me wear that mask. And I'm like, yeah, did you see a Total Recall when Arnold Schwarzenegger was without a mask? You want your eyeballs to do that? Then go ahead and go out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
People are stupid. The fact that there are so many people that we've been dealing with this for well over a year now. And the reason we've been doing this for over a year now is because people could not and would not do the things that they needed to do in the first month. Because this could have literally been over within 2 months, at least here.
Right.
And here we are still, to where it's like, it's part of our culture now. From now until whoever knows, it's going to affect our entire, lives moving forward, even when it's not here anymore.
Right.
So and because people are fucking stupid and said, no, I'm not going to do what you want me to do. Little fucking 3-year-old tantrum from a 45-year-old woman.
I've got my freedoms.
Yeah.
You can't take them away from me.
I'm going to go storm the Capitol and then cry because I got arrested doing it. Woo-hoo-hoo. But I'm white.
Well, now, have you heard about the Liz Cheney situation?
That they ousted her. That's all I know from that.
Well, yeah, they've ousted her from her leadership position. She's still in the Congress, and her goal is to gather up the rest of the people who feel like she does, and if they have to, form another party, which will split the Democrats in half.
You mean the Republicans?
The Republicans, sorry.
Okay.
Will split the Republicans in half. Or they'll divide them. I don't know if it'll be directly in half, but the majority of Republicans really don't follow or want Donald Trump back into office.
Right.
They know he lost. They they feel like he was part of the reason for at least part of the reason for the storm on the Capitol, if not all the reason. And so she's, she has to, she'll form another, a conservative party. I mean, I'd rather have a conservative party than an insane party.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is that before, it's like I thought Republicans were assholes, but I still, thought I had never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the Republicans were the ones who were so anti-Russian, and now they're doing whatever the Russians say.
Right.
Anything that the Russians, chant that the Russians come up with, they're adopting and using for themselves. It's ridiculous.
Right. And it's so transparent. And then, of course, you got the Matt Gaetz thing going on.
Yeah, and you know what? Most of them don't have anything bad to say about that.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
This guy's a scumbag, and nobody seems to have a problem with it. I just,
and I just wonder what's going to happen if, and I say if because I know they're preparing. I think the reason they're talking about it so much is they're preparing the public for it to happen more than the people that are going to be involved in it. But when they go to formally arrest Trump, I'm like, I wonder what is going to happen with that.
Well, those people are just going to go, oh, it's just another witch hunt. They hate him.
Right.
So they keep doing it until the poor man is broken. And it's like, yeah, no, he's just a pig, and you're never going to realize it because you're all idiots.
Right. Well, I think they realize it, but it's like, does he have something on him? Are they just that in line? What? It's insane. And I'm so tired of having to hear about it. But I'll tell you, what's bliss is going through an entire day, even though it's like avoiding political, stuff, and not having to hear anything from or about that man.
Oh, I know. I still, and I know this is terrible, but every day, I wake up because I've been getting up I've been waking up about 7 o'clock in the morning. And when I do, I always check my phone to see if he's died. And I've been doing this for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
And every morning,
yeah.
It's funny because if Sean's awake, I'll go, still alive, not dead yet. And he knows what I'm talking about.
Well, it takes a lot to take evil down. Yeah. Let's see. Next story up, we've got police groups are banned from participating in New York City Pride, effective immediately. Thoughts?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Why?
I just curious. We had this happen here, where they are not, they weren't, Sacramento police weren't allowed to, in uniform, be part of Pride, and they didn't want them around because it was triggering. You know how I feel about that word.
Yeah.
And at first I thought that was stupid. You need the police around because there's also crazies, and then also, I felt that gay and lesbian and et cetera, and transgender police officers should be allowed to march in the pride parades,
Yeah.
because they, not only, serve the community, but they're part of our community, and they need to be, celebrated and represented. But
well, now
when we went,
they're being banned by who? By the police?
The Pride Parade.
Oh, so
the Pride organizers will not have the police around.
Okay. Well, that's different though. That's a whole different position, because the nice thing about any event, when the they do the St. Patrick's Day parade, there's police there because
Mhm.
you're right, because crazies, because drunks, because you're in an open carry state.
Mhm.
There. I don't trust humans,
Right.
and especially humans that seem to hate everybody.
Yep.
And they get triggered by their own people to go out and do stupid things, because I don't go to those events anymore because I worry about the crazies.
Yeah. Same. And so anyway, so after really our people talking about and all the violence of the police against especially like our black uh, uh, people in our community and our community as well, our section of the larger community. I don't know. I started to feel that maybe that was the right decision. Now, for us, uh, Sacramento went through a whole bunch of weird stuff and ended up letting police officers march, but they didn't want them to be in uniform. But they were still able to march in the Pride Parade. But they still did not have, they hired private security. And I imagine that's probably what they're going to do in New York too, is hire private security to do all
Which
that.
is another big expense
Exactly.
for a
But
free event.
yeah. So anyway, it's just interesting. And the thing is I see parts of both sides of it, and I agree with parts of both sides of it. So it's hard for me to really effectively, say this is what I think about it, because I get
Yeah,
it,
it's
you know.
it's hard because we know that there are certain things and reasons why it's good to have them there, um and but you know what, I still get triggered. I'll use that term because you love it so much.
Uh-huh.
When I'm driving and there's a cop behind me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my
Definitely.
God, am my lights out? Have I done something wrong? Oh my God.
Right.
And until the cop passes me, I'm in a full panic.
Right. Exactly. And imagine that feeling being a black driver. So again, more reasons that I understand and support that decision, but at the same time, then I also have other reasons why, So it's a very difficult decision, and I'm glad that I wasn't having to be part of that. Anyway, all right. Hey, Tom wants to talk to you about.
Oh my God, I wasn't prepared.
Okay.
Let's see. As we've heard, All Rise, my show All Rise was canceled, but they did bring back United States of Al and Be Positive for a second season. So obviously, yeah, it's politics here. No one's
Yeah.
watching the shows. It's bullshit, and they're terrible on top of it. Just saying. Um, yeah. So otherwise, right now we're at the top 3 on American Idol. We just did. We had 5, and then one of them got thrown off for being in a video with somebody dressed like a Ku Klux Klan member. And everyone's going, yeah, well, how old was he when he did that? Oh, well, he was 12 when he did the video. Oh, well, he was
What?
12. Well, how old is he now? Well, 15. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not that long ago. And so, he was the country kid with the mullet. So you kind of really, you didn't check his news feed before that and didn't find that picture. I mean, seriously.
Wow.
Okay. So they're down to the top 3. And one of the people the girl that got eliminated last night was one a lot of people expected to go to the end, and she didn't. So all the 3 that are up are the 3 that I've been voting for every week since we've been able to vote. So I'm really happy about that, for a change. And let's see, the Masked Singer this week, they had Russian dolls, so they had multiple characters singing. So we knew it had to be a group or a family singer, a group of singers, because they could sing really well. So we figured it was either Hanson, or so they kept going, oh, maybe it's the Jonas Brothers. And it's like, no, it's not.
No.
And I was even thinking it was the Jacksons at one point, maybe three or four of the Jackson brothers, and LaToya in there, and but it ended up being Hanson. So
it was Hanson.
It was Hanson.
Wow.
And boy, I'll tell you, when you're not looking at the boys and you're just hearing their voices, they were really good singers.
They are really good singers, but I can't remember what it was, but one of them is like gone off the rails somehow. Anyway, keep talking and I'm going to look that up.
Okay. Let's see. I finished Them this week, and okay, and I'll tell you, this is what bothers me. I had to endure the hot poker in the eye sequence in the 9th episode, and then being lynched and burned. So we could watch this guy for 3 minutes at the end of episode 10 for whatever reason he was actually there. Fuck you. That was terrible. And then not giving us an ending. Shame on you.
Yeah. I agree. I was shell shocked at the end of it. I didn't even know what to feel, what to think. I'm like, this was a fucked up ride that you brought us on. Battling the paranormal, battling the crazy, taking us out of it, putting us back into it. And then there's like, oh, well, we've successfully kicked the supernatural ass, and that won't be coming back. And now we're going to go out of our front door and face a whole town of white people after, like, we killed a cop and all this other. Yeah, it's just like, I didn't even know what to think.
Yeah.
Incredible fucking series. Well done. But oh my God, it just.
And then the white bitch across the street who gets kidnapped by the milkman and held in a bunker, and she gets out and he shoots her.
Yeah, I was okay with that.
But that ended nothing. That was, why was that even there?
I don't have enough. I think that on top of the fact that, like, her father was sleeping with her, and that's how she got her money, and he was mad that she left him. You picked up on all that, right?
Yeah, but I don't care.
We have
her in a bunker for 4 episodes, and then when she finally gets away, the milkman just kills her.
Oh, and you know who the milkman was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My boyfriend from True Blood.
Exactly. But I think they were trying to do something with her to show how damaged of a person she was, but that didn't make you any sympathetic to the fact that she was a complete fucking horrible racist person.
Yeah.
If you're trying to humanize her and make us feel sorry that she got shot by a crazy guy, it didn't work. I was okay with it.
Okay, now on one show where that is working is Pose. Now the 3rd season of Pose.
Okay.
And this last week, they did it was a flashback to Elektra, who is. Have you seen the show?
I haven't seen it. It's in my queue, but I haven't watched it yet.
Elektra is this. She's an older character who has been around for a while, and she was a mother of a group, and then when that finished and the kids went off, she was kind of on her own, and then she came back with one of her kids from her group, right, from the ball.
Yeah.
And was now part of her family, and so we really didn't know much about her character. Well, they really delved into her character, and we found out, that she was thrown out of the house by her mother, and that she was pulling tricks back in the 70s and ended up being out on the streets in the 80s and trying to survive. And what was interesting about it is I looked up the actress, and the actress, her name is Dominique Jackson, And if you look at her history, she is, well, first of all, she's pretty much in her late 50s, and she is transgender, and her life almost mirrored, well, somewhat mirrored. She was part of the balls back in the 90s. So
Wow.
she was a real person, and now she, that was part of that time period. And now she's playing part of that time period, some 30 years later. It's just
Wow.
so fascinated and so excited to find out more about her, as not just her character, but the actress who plays her now. Very exciting. And then next week they're doing Billy Porter. This week they're doing Billy Porter's character, and I'm looking forward to seeing that to get more insight. I don't mind, having flashbacks about characters that are actually in the show.
Yeah.
What makes the show deeper and more emotional, and you get more of a tie to these characters. So I was really happy about that. Let's see. I've been watching some of the first season of Golden Girls.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so funny because I felt really bad for Coco, their gay roommate. I guess it was a roommate. They called him their cook, yet he's there at 10 o'clock at night pouring them coffee and first of all, what are those old bitches drinking coffee at 10 o'clock at night for? But
my father does that.
But yeah, so and then he was gone because that was the pilot, and NBC goes, no, we'll give Estelle Getty her own room, and we're getting rid of the cook. And so he was gone. I felt bad about that. But then I noticed that in the first episode, the pilot, that B. Arthur was really trying not to be Maud.
Yeah.
And I swear, as soon as we got to the second episode, she was starting to come back with the mods, because they go, I'm sure that they said, okay, look, you need to have her be more like Maud. We love Maud. Bring back Maud,
Right.
And actually, and Rose was, on Maud. And so her character became a little bit more familiar. And then Rose got really stupid so they could make, because Rose was not as dumb at the first episode as she was at the second, the third, the fourth,
Right. Yeah.
And it's kind of fun watching their characters develop to the character, except for Estelle Getty, who was hysterical and funny and didn't change at all.
Yeah.
She was pretty much the same. And I love the fact I've had a stroke, and so that part of me that can hold back doesn't anymore. I just, So been really fun doing that. On Jupiter's Legacy, I've been watching. It's so weird because it's just, how do they keep trying to make these shows and when they're almost the exact same shows?
Yeah.
I'm also watching The Nevers, which is on HBO. And in The Nevers, this last week, we found out that there's some sort of large orb underneath London that is probably creating the people who have been touched and have like special powers now. And it's also, and the people who aren't touched, it's making them angry and making them like lose control of their temper. They're becoming bad people. So and in The Regulars, which was Netflix, that was the one with Sherlock Holmes, they found a large orb underneath London that was, I mean, seriously, oh my God. I don't know. I mean, I like these shows, they're good, but between another superhero storyline, or if they're not superheroes, they're witches, werewolves, vampires, there's some kind of odd, they've got some supernatural powers. If it's not superpowers, it's supernatural powers. Or they're finding a fucking orb underneath London. What the hell is going on? How come all these stories, just nobody going, our show sounds just like that other show.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, well, ours is different because our superheroes are bad guys. Oh, okay. But they're all good guys. Well, yeah, but most of them are bad guys. It's totally different.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because there was Godzilla versus King Kong came out, right?
Right.
And then like I'm scrolling through something and look, a movie that it says like lizard monster versus gorilla or something. There's like, you can't put anything out where there's not another studio that's doing the same exact thing, only worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I get it.
Yes. And I did want to mention, let's see, on Top Chef this week, the challenge was to make 65 servings for, they're taking them over to hospital, people working hospitals, nurses,
Oh, yeah.
hospital. And they had to make something good, but they also had to make it available so they could be reheated in the microwave. So and it's so funny because like 2 weeks ago they were at the drive-in, and it's a drive-in movie, and they had to do snacks for the drive-in, and I think I told you they had like ribs and and stuff that you can't. First of all, if it's at the drive-in, you can't eat it with two hands. You have to use one hand because you have to hold it with the other because you don't have a table. You don't have any, you have nowhere to put this. And if you're fat, you don't even have a lap to set it on. So,
right.
She was, Padma was very specific with the drive-in and with the hospital. She goes, remember, these people need to be able to reheat this because if they can't, they can't just drop everything and go eat. They eat when they can.
Right.
And so it was. I like the fact that they're bringing up these kind of challenges. They're like specifying that you really need to be careful about, X, Y, Z. There's something you have to watch out for. There's another step. Other than just making an elegant meal, you have to make an elegant meal that can be reheated in a microwave safe container. And that changes the ball game in a lot of things. So anyway, let's see. I started a new show called Hacks on HBO, which is Jean Smart, and she plays a kind of a washed up stand-up comedian. Well, she's not washed up, but she's older. She's been working Vegas for years. And it's like, and of course, Brian immediately goes, oh, that sounds like late night, that
right.
Because what happens is they bring in a writer that changes her comedy. And so, but once again, I guess maybe there's only so many storylines that you can do, but it's written really well and it's very funny. It's half-hour show, and I really enjoyed it because, well, I really enjoyed Late Night too. That was my favorite picture that year.
Yeah.
And then they did start on Prime. They just started a show called Underground Railroad, and we were going to start it, and Sean and I were like, you know what, we need a rest from Black people being treated horribly by white people after doing them. So we will get to it, but I'm just, it's like, I can't watch 12 Years a Slave every fucking day. It's exhausting.
Well, imagine how it feels to be Black.
I understand that.
They can't just turn it off.
Well, they don't have to turn it on either, is what I'm saying, is that, I wasn't responsible for this, and I watch and I feel guilt.
Well, we all do, and that's the reason that it's there, is to try to make us feel guilty. So
I don't think
that shit doesn't happen again.
There to make us feel guilty. I think it's
how to educate.
I think it's there for people to know what was going on. We hear Underground Railroad, but a lot of people don't really know what that meant.
Yeah, that's
A lot
true,
of people think
actually.
there were tunnels, which there were some, but
Yeah,
that's not what Underground Railroad was. But okay.
yeah. I saw. Oh, speaking of, I was rewatching The Amazing Race. Not no, well, I am doing that, but RuPaul's Drag Race, and the season that I watched, one of the queens did Harriet Tubman, who was instrumental in the
Yeah,
Underground Railroad, and absolutely nailed it.
right.
Was and I think actually I think she won,
Yeah, she
but
did.
it was just it was so brilliant. And also the one that did Maya Angelou was it was so spot on and so wonderful. But anyway,
We're not on your week yet.
oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. I started Halston, which
Oh
is
yes.
new on Netflix. It's Ewan McGregor. He's amazing in it. This is a Ryan Murphy production, and it's basically telling the life of Halston from the Jackie Kennedy pillbox hat to his death. So, and just how he fought his way to become, because it's not easy being a designer to get to be the name like Halston or YSL or Calvin Klein. That takes a long time to get that, and a lot. Actually, you really find out it takes a lot of money too, because you can't if you're hot and people are buying your clothes and you can't keep up with the demand, you're not making money.
Right.
So it's really interesting watching how everything that goes on. We're really enjoying it. There's only 5 episodes and we're already 2 in. So and um and for some reason I wrote down Chester B. Arthur, and I
Chef.
don't know why. Well, Chester Arthur was the president. His name was Chester B. Arthur, and I'm thinking B. Arthur. Oh my God, I want, but
Right.
I don't know why I wrote that down. Um, and then High School Musical, the series, season 2 just started, and on Disney Plus, and it's already so good. They're doing for the their second year. I guess they are they calling it the spring? Maybe it's the spring musical is going to be Beauty and the Beast, because she found costumes at a costume store, and so it's Beauty and the Beast. So that was pretty funny. And the kid from the lead kid is gay, openly gay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Amazing.
yeah, wasn't sure if you knew that.
Nope. I didn't have a clue.
Okay,
Beauty and the Beast is one of my least favorite musicals,
um,
except for Be Our Guest.
well, the movie, or the cartoon.
No, no, actually, the movie was really well done. It's I think overall, I think it's mostly the story of it. I don't know why, but it's just one of my like, everybody else is obsessed with it, and I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. Um, and I'll tell you, one of the reasons why I've always liked Beauty and the Beast over a lot of the other ones is Belle is not a bimbo.
Oh, yes, absolutely, you're right.
She's book smart. She doesn't need a man.
Yeah,
And when she finally, when she falls in love with the Beast, it's because she can see through his skin and see who's
mhm,
inside, and unlike Little Mermaid, who just wants a boyfriend and gives up everything for that.
yeah,
That I remember I was reading an article and they said that of all of the Disney princesses, she was the dumbest.
mhm,
um
ah,
and and well, not just dumb, but actually she doesn't have any values that modern women have.
right. Yeah, that's
And
one of the
so,
reasons. Oh, go ahead.
no, but that's and if you look at it, Jasmine, she was rich. Pocahontas, she was a pretty good Disney princess. But in Brave, she just wanted she wanted to do her own thing, and her mother was trying to protect her. And
Mulan.
Mulan, yeah, Mulan was a good one.
Yeah, she could kick some ass.
Yeah, but she, yeah, and Moana, she was good. I mean, the girls are getting better and smarter each time, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's one of the reasons I liked the what was it? Once Upon a Time. Was that the name of the show?
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously it was, you know, a lot of bastardized fiction of the characters and stuff. But I love the fact that when they finally gave Snow, like, you know, she started out as this weak little ingenue, and then when they started giving her backstory, she was like a kick-ass, like she could shoot, you know, she was a like bow and arrow huntress and like really deadly aim and all this stuff. They finally gave her like something that make her not an insipid little.
Yeah, because I mean, look at Cinderella. The only thing she was good for was she cleaned well.
Yeah, and she could talk to mice.
Yeah, which is kind of scary.
Mm.
But then again, they all seem to be able to talk to something that could be made into a plush toy.
Right, or birds come and land on them and shit. So it was very weird. Okay, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for me, I finished The Amazing Race 8, which was the family edition. And so when I'm watching The Amazing Race and you're all asked you about it and you're all like, I don't watch The Amazing Race because they're just evil Americans and they make us look horrible in the world. And I'm like, well, some of them are kind of assholes, but a lot of them are nice. Let me tell you, after watching season 8, the family edition, I hated every single person on that show. Actually, maybe not. There was one of the kids that was actually decent. The rest of them were complete fucking assholes, and it almost made me not want to watch the show anymore because it was that fucking bad.
Well,
yeah.
no, that's probably when I stopped watching it. I don't know. I can't remember, but just as there were fewer characters that I liked on the show, and more characters that I hated, and then it just became, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah, and even like I started season 9, and now I'm about halfway through season 9, and let me tell you, the first seasons, there's so much misogyny. There's like so much, I mean, hatred. I mean, a guy shoves his girlfriend or his fiance, just shoves her, and another one's like yelling at her, calling his wife a bitch, and she needs to shut the fuck up and all. I'm just like, are you fucking serious? Like, and like, if this shit were going on now, there would be like, those people would probably be fired and stuff. But back then, I guess they got celebrated for being like that. It's just, it's creepy. It's fucking creepy. And it's the same on some of the early survivors too. The way that the guys talk about the women, and it's gross. Anyway, but I am watching season 9. It's almost over. And I hope the hippies win. But I think I've seen this before, and I think they don't. So, oh well. So a matinee minutia is coming up this Friday over on the Univaz network, and I'm going to be part of this week's episode. We are going to be talking about the miniseries from the 80s. I think both miniseries, the first one and the final battle. So I'm rewatching those, and it's amazing. When I watched them the first time when I was a kid, and I was really kind of obsessed with it. I had like a scrapbook, and I read the books, and I had all the comic books and stuff like that. I was just totally into it, and I really loved it. And now when I watch it, when I'm 50, the first episode actually kind of gave me some anxiety, because, you know, with the OCD and triggers and stuff, you know how you get when you get, you know, your life goes along. Now I'm watching it and I'm like, this is fucking freaky. And yet I know everything that's going to happen in it. So Anyway, yeah, so I'm watching that matinee minutia this Friday. I think it's at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So Univaz Network, go check it out. So you hate Pooch Perfect.
I don't like the people. They're just, it's all, I have to watch it all the time. All these shows, we have to hear their backstory. We have to see why they deserve to win over somebody else. But I think they just freaked out on the freaks. There's too many. These people are damaged, and I told Brian, I said, what about the guy who's a, just a clipper, he loves to do dogs, he loves to groom them. It's his passion, but he's not insane enough to do the show.
Right.
Because
right.
you got to remember that they have casting directors for these shows, just the same way they do for Golden Girls.
Right.
And that the producers are going, we want freaks. Bring us freaks. Do not bring normal people. No one wants to see that.
So that they can make Rebel Wilson look normal or laugh at her comedy. Because I'm sorry, I'm not finding her very amusing.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, so Nephi likes the show a lot. You just said how you feel about it. So I'm like trying to watch it. I watched the first episode last night, and I just kind of was ew. I just kind of felt ewy about it. I'm going to keep watching it. I think it might be fun. Now, I have issues with the dyeing of the dogs and everything, like the paint dyeing, not dyeing.
All the stuff is perfectly safe.
I know. And I'm trying to keep that in mind, but I'm just like, why would you do this to a dog?
Because they're getting paid probably $1,000 to have their dog painted blue and green.
Yeah. Ugh. Makes sense, I guess. Not a fan of the judges.
Oh no, it's more freaks.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you kind of nailed it. It's too crazy. Like, where's the sane people? Where's the people that like the black woman on there, the black judge? She's cool, but she's like the only grounding force of anything. Well, everything else is just insane. And I'm sorry, the first person that went home, the one that did the ant dog, she deserved to go home. That was awful. I couldn't, and most of those cuts were awful. I didn't understand hardly any of them. And the only one that I thought was pretty good, well, the only two, got like negative critiques. So I don't get it. But anyway, I'm going to keep watching and see if I can find what people are going crazy about in this. And then I'm going to start, actually, you've already talked about this. I'm going to start Halston, and I'm going to start the Underground, because I have always been obsessed with Harriet Tubman. I've always loved her, and I'm going to try to watch that. And then also, I have not heard of The Biggest Loser in years. It was taken off, I guess.
No, it's not. It's on USA.
No, I think it was like not on for several years, correct?
Well, the last one was in 2019, and then there was a pandemic.
Well, I thought they stopped doing it in 2017 because they got so much backlash and got sued for a while. So
okay.
Anyway, but I know I found it on USA. I'm going to watch the series, the new one, now that it's over. I don't know. I'm just going to leave it at that and talk about it after I watch it. But anyway.
I do have an update that I forgot to mention.
Okay.
And it's all about the watch.
Oh, yes.
Found out. See, I had ordered a wind spinner. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I ordered that. And so 2 weeks ago, after 3 months, they finally said they delivered the wind spinner. And I'm like, no, the only thing I got that day was a watch that I had not ordered. And they're going, oh, well, can you take a picture of the tracking? So I showed them that I sent them a picture of the tracking. They go, oh, they sent you the wrong thing. So what we need you to do is to pack up the watch and send it to China and at your cost. And then once we receive that, we'll ship you the wind spinner. And I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, I'm keeping the watch. Have a nice day.
Well, what I want to do is to get a stick, like a tall stick, attach the watch to it, and set it in the garden, and I can watch it flap around in the wind.
uh, I love. Yeah, yeah.
But I know that there's been a lot of kind of bullshit going on, where they send stuff unsolicited. I mean, this was solicited, but you know, it would cost me $10-15 to ship this back to fucking China, and then they're probably going to say it was never delivered, and then I'm out of watch, which I didn't want. I don't get my fucking wind spinner, and I've already devoted 3 months to waiting for this garbage. So
Yeah.
no. And I'm looking at this, and they're saying that the Biggest Loser is not. They don't give an ending date for it. You know how they always say, like, the Biggest Loser in Australia ran 2006 to 2017.
Yeah.
Well, the Biggest Loser is showing 2000, 2004, and no ending date.
Huh.
So I don't know
I don't know why, but like for about 4 years after I heard they were getting sued at one point.
Why were they getting sued?
Because the way that they do things was like damaging people. Because you know it's hyper. You know, people think that they can do this at home, and it's like, the show is you know, the way that they do things is fucked up and fake. I mean, if you think you can, you know, do hyper exercise for 8 hours a day and then eat a salad, no wonder you're losing 30 pounds a week. But if you think you can do that at home, you better not have a job.
Right. And you have to have somebody that's cooking your food for you and monitoring you and making sure that you're staying on.
Right. And then you're losing that much weight that fast. You still got there. You can face things like, you know, gallstones, and there's just tons of stuff that is the reason that this show is so, it is an entertainment show only, and people don't get that. But anyway, that's one of the things is like, it fucked up one or two people somehow or something at some point a couple of years ago, and they got sued for it. And so after that, I have not heard anything about the show. I didn't even know it was still on. I didn't know it was still going. I haven't seen anything about the hosts, any promoting, nothing. So anyway, of course, now that I'm talking about it, it's going to pop up in all my feeds on all my social media, because this morning I commented on TJ Zombie Girl's post that I loved one of the artists that she was showing on her picture. And not 20 minutes later, I had ads for that artist going through my feed.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So thanks for listening. Anyway.
Exactly. That's true. That's so true.
Yeah. All right. What we got next? So that's basically my week. Very kind of low key and trying to catch up on everything. So, and that's this week. I'm going to be kind of trying to catch up on everything too, and actually watch some series other than The Amazing Race, which now I am starting to feel like you did. These people are an embarrassment. Okay, but you know what's not embarrassing? Shopping at Fat Marker Clothing, and they want to remind you to be loud, be proud, be too much, and be you, because they want those of us who've always been told that we are too much of something to turn those negatives into positives with awesome clothing and accessories. And Chubbs listeners, you can use the code FMWildChub to get 20% off anything when ordering over at thatmarkerclothing.com. And I think I'm going to go over there later because I want to try to find a towel for the summer. I bought a unicorn towel, but it is not one that actually covers me that well. So, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that reminds me. There is a place that sells towels, really nice towels for hefty guys. But I would rather get one from our sponsor. All right. It's time for advice. This one comes from Dear Prudy. She says, Dear Prudence, I came home early from work on Friday to the unexpected sound of the vacuum cleaner running in my 12-year-old son's room. Thinking that perhaps this was a sign of the apocalypse, my son cleaning his room without a major nagging on my part, I burst in there and caught him with his pants down and the hose attached to his, well, you know. He froze like a deer in headlights, and after picking my jaw up off the floor, I mumbled something stupid like, "Excuse me?" and turned around and walked out and hid in my room. Well, he left to go to his dad's for the weekend shortly after. He will be home tomorrow night after school, and I don't know what to say to him. Actually, do I have to say anything to him, or can I just act like this never happened and not say anything at all? I much prefer option 2, by the way. What do you think?
Oh, okay. Well, have you ever tried this when you were a kid?
Well, I can neither confirm or deny that I was too big for the attachment.
Me too.
Right?
It's like, all I was getting was like a hickey on the side of my wiener. So
right? Yes.
And my head's already slashed up by a bad circumcision anyway. So I don't need any scratches on there either. So it's like, okay, this isn't going to work. Honestly, don't say anything. Let him, if he wants to come to you and talk about it, that's fine. But I would say, I would just say, don't talk to him about it. I mean, he's not doing anything wrong. He's not doing anything that's not normal. If he's concerned about it, then he can come to you.
Yeah, when I read this to pull it, my first thought was, he's going to go spend time with his father. Why don't you say something to the father so the father can talk to him?
I don't know that that's even, necessary.
Well,
he's 12 though. That's awfully early to try to fuck the vacuum cleaner.
Well, yeah, yes, you are correct. And obviously, I'm thinking he probably saw or heard this from somewhere to be able to decide, I'm going to stick my dick in this.
Well, no, I think we all figure that out.
Well, we do, but there's always the people. I mean, today it's with the internet and everything.
Basically when you're 12, 13 years old, you try to stick your dick in anything that's round and that might mimic
a hole.
A hole. Well, yes. And I mean, because I remember toilet paper rolls and
done that,
the bed or the couch cushions,
yep, I remember that too.
None of them worked. Just anyone listening, they don't work because all you're doing is scraping the shit out of your wiener.
Pretty much. Although I will say that no, I won't say that. I'll say that on another show.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you mean the Big Gay Sex Show?
Yes, that one. So if you want to know more about that story, I'll talk about it on the next Big Gay Sex Show.
That's a good
segue.
Well, not segue, but just a good topic.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, because we don't really talk about how awful being a teenager can be on your sexuality. But I know that I wouldn't want my mother to come and go, how come all your socks are hard as a rock? I would have been, I would have been damaged.
Yeah.
So,
Right, exactly. However, I know so many of my peers in like different groups are mothers of teenage boys now, and they talk about that stuff amongst themselves, and
yes.
they're like, oh well, we've hit that phase. I don't want to unroll his socks before the laundry and stuff like that. I've heard them say
yeah,
that stuff.
I had a coworker, and she said, basically, as soon as she knows that the kids are masturbating, she doesn't turn their socks inside out.
Yeah.
Because she said, the first time you reach in,
oh God.
the last time you reach in.
Yeah. See, that's if I had kids at that age, I'd be like, okay, well, now that you're old enough, it's time for you to learn your own, how to do your own laundry.
Exactly. It's time to, you need to know how to do laundry. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And that's a cool way of doing it. But it's the kid who hasn't figured out that certain, well, no, even after, I mean, I knew what I was doing, but I always wanted to try to see if I could magnify that feeling.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So, but I certainly wouldn't want my mother talking to me about that. I would die if my mother said, "Did you fuck the vacuum cleaner?"
Yeah. I get that. Actually, honestly, I am 50 fucking years old, and I still have to like worry that my dear mom is going to be in a mood where she just opens the door and it doesn't knock, and I'm just like, oh my God, stupid. Anyway, yeah, parents and privacy, they don't learn. So, all right. Well, here's what Dear Prudie had to say. I am sincerely hoping the Dyson company doesn't see your letter and come up with a new line of vacuum cleaners guaranteed to suck the living daylights out of the user. Actually, that would be really good if they did.
Smart if they did.
Yeah. First, you may want to pick up a copy of
Portnoy's Complaint.
Okay, thank you. Let's just say the liver scene should reassure you that young men have always been creative when it comes to relief. I like how she calls it relief. Normally, I agree with you, Mom, that backing away quickly is the right path to take when stumbling upon such an uplifting scene. Oh dear. But I'm actually worried about the amount of suction your son could be applying to his private parts and the potential for gunking up the machine's filter. I think this situation calls for a man-to-man talk. I hope that you have the kind of relationship where you can tell your ex about this and both of you can laugh. Then your son's father can have a good-humored talk in which he explains that there are lots of ways to accomplish his goal, but it's a good idea to keep the household appliances out of it. Actually, that's interesting. That she's right that stuff like that can fuck you up.
Well, I mean, we knew a person who had used a pump, and he literally broke his wiener.
Right, permanently.
The head and half the shaft would never fill up with blood anymore, and so it looked kind of like a balloon that's lost air, and the tip is just kind of out of shape, but doesn't fill up anymore. And so that is something to be concerned about.
Right. So that's actually a pretty good call. See, it would be cool if dads or surrogate dads, shall we say, were good to talk to their sons and teach them, and provide them tools, shall we say.
But there's all those men there at the bathroom in the park. They're more than willing to show your sons.
I'm sure they are, but let's hope that we keep them away from that. But it would be nice to have a dad that would say stuff like, don't use your socks, have a towel. I don't know, but basically don't do all this stuff and do, you know, and stuff like that. You need that kind of education. So
Yeah, I agree.
but there you go. That was an interesting topic. And thank you to Dear Prudy. Go over to slate.com. Check them out. They've got a podcast and all sorts of things over there. So really good. All right. Hey, Chubbs, after dark, how many lights do you put on?
Well, which room?
Well, that's like, I mean, I know somebody that you know too, that every time when it gets dark, they turn like all the lights on in the whole house.
Okay, see, I do like having a brighter, not bright room, but I like light.
Mhm.
So my living room at night, I will have 3 lights on, as well as the television.
Mhm.
In the kitchen, you know, when you walk in the kitchen, all the lights in the kitchen are on, but I don't leave lights on specifically.
Mhm.
So I would say at night I have 3 that are on from dusk till I go to bed.
Okay, cool. I have uh, one in my room, sometimes 2, because my computer and everything lights up enough that I don't usually need light over here at night. And then the kitchen light. And if my father and my mother have a light on in their rooms, but other than that, that's it. So for me personally, 1, 2, and sometimes 3.
Well, and the front yard, we have the one on the driveway, and we
Mm.
have the one at the door on the door, and those are always on at night.
And see, mine aren't.
I know. Yes,
Yeah.
I've left your house at like 7 o'clock during the winter time, and
Yeah.
as soon as I got in my car, the front lights off, the living room is dark, there's no light in the house at all.
Right.
It was like, oh, I guess they've all gone to their rooms now.
Yeah. Well, it's more like it's that, and it's also no, stay the fuck away. We don't want anything. Don't come up to our door. You know, that type of,
Right, I get it.
fuck off type thing. Anyway, hey Chubbs, do you change your clothes every day?
When I was working, I did,
Hmm.
simply because there's nothing worse than showing up in the same outfit 2 days in a row and people going, did you not make it home?
Yeah.
Whose house were you at last night?
Mm.
Walk of shame. But no, but now I barely wear clothes.
Nice. Nice.
Well, during the wintertime, I'll you know, I'm a little more dressed, but during the summertime, I'm basically in my underwear or shorts the whole time.
And no shirt?
No, I mean,
Wow.
if I go out in the front yard, yes, because you know, I don't want the people to see all this majesty. But
Yes.
yeah, backyard, yeah, I'm usually out in my underwear in the backyard, or like if I have shorts on. But if I take the trash out, I'll put on a shirt. But so I'm not wearing shirts all the time. So like when I do this recording, I put on a shirt.
Mm.
And when I do a weekly FaceTime, I put on a shirt. But the
Right.
rest of the time, I don't know if I have a shirt on or not.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, did I tell you that I actually went to 3 restaurants and 8 indoors this week?
You did not. That should have been part of your week. Although I did see your photo of the
Pho.
pho.
The pho was the
Pho.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Friday. Saturday, we went to Dos Coyotes,
Oh,
and I had a
fancy.
lovely Yucatan chicken salad.
Mm.
And then last night we went to McCooney's for Sean's birthday.
Wow.
And so that was yeah, and all indoors with no masks.
That's amazing. That's really amazing.
And you know what? It felt really, really good.
Yeah.
It really did. It just felt yeah, because went to Costco, and you have to still wear the mask at Costco in California.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was just kind of cool to not having. The funny thing is, you have to walk in with a mask on, But when your food gets there, you can take the or your drink gets there, you can take the mask off and you're fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way it is at Bear Bar. Same thing. You have to walk in with the mask, and then after you're in, you can just take it off. So interesting. Well, awesome. Yeah, that's definitely a highlight of the week
change
for
your
you.
clothes every day?
No, I do not. I am home, not going anywhere, doing my work. I have my at-home dirty clothes, you know, like the shirts and stuff that have like little holes in them, so you won't wear them out anymore, but you still love the shirt. So I have a set of those, and I just kind of rotate through them every couple days. So I'll go maybe 2-3 days, as long as I'm not like, you know, outside sweating or something.
Yeah,
like
if I'm super sweaty, the shirt is ruined. I already
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, if I'm just sitting here at the computer doing work, now I'll like I've worn this shirt for like 2 days in a row now, maybe 3. So tomorrow I'll just change to something else. But yeah, I don't, if I'm at home and they're not gritty dirty, no. So anyway, I'm sure that lost me about 3 husbands. All right.
Well, you know, hygiene's very important to some people.
It is. And see, that's the thing, is I may not change my clothes every day if they're not really grungy, but I end up usually showering at least twice a day. So
Yeah, well, and it's very offensive when remember, it used to be no fats, no femmes, no heavy drugs, and now it's like, is your hygiene good? And it's like, what do you think?
right.
What where does that come from? You know,
Well, it probably comes from somebody
well,
going down, because I went down. I remember doing some oral things and coming back up very quickly and being like, oh, hell no. You need to go take care of something.
yeah, but that can happen on a skinny guy too.
Well, it was a skinny guy.
But they never, did you notice that they never specified that to thin people?
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm offended.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Is that it seems to be something that these people think is relatively normal amongst fat guys, is that they're gonna not have good hygiene.
Yeah, you know, actually, I get that. And I think that's a conception too, is that people always think that if you're overweight, that you're always sweating and that you smell bad and that you don't take, yeah, I get it. That is a what do you call it? A stereotype?
Misconception.
Yeah, because girl, yeah, if I smell myself, I'm in the shower.
So what's in your lunchbox?
Well, let's see. Let's start out with what's in Moose's lunchbox, and he has some beautiful fucking items. He starts with ordered a smoked chicken sandwich with slaw and fries.
Yeah, no, chicken sandwich, pulled chicken.
Mm.
And it looks excellent. I hope the coleslaw is creamy enough to give, because it looks like chicken really needs, I'm not saying moisture so much, but just kind of to hold it all together.
Yeah.
And, you know, because I would like to seem like mayo, but I think that the slaw is very mayo oriented, so that's probably going to do it. And the bun is beautiful. And look at those fries. Those fries are crispy.
Yeah.
And just
perfect. Yeah, I would take mayo with no slaw. I don't know if I would want coleslaw on a sandwich, but really? I would, you know, maybe I'll try it once. But yeah.
Well, think of it. You have lettuce and tomato and mayonnaise, and all this is cabbage, and it's usually softened with mayonnaise and, you know, maybe carrots and stuff like that. Well, not always. Not everybody uses vinegar on their coleslaw. I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, I would give it a try, but it wouldn't be my first thing to think of, you know. All right, been cutting, weight down to 188. Wow, but still lifting heavy. Hungry a lot of the time. Was dreaming about a fried fish dinner last night. In the dream, I ordered the dinner with an extra piece of fish. Normally it has 2 6-ounce fillets, but I ordered 3 fillets in my dream. Ate it all, but was still hungry. Ordered a 4th fillet. So today I went to my buddy's restaurant, ordered my dream meal: 3 catfish fillets, large fry, slaw, and hush puppies. Just as in the dream, I was still hungry after it all, but I resisted the urge to order more. Wow. So he changed his destiny. It's amazing.
Yeah, I wonder if he uses like a tartar sauce, or if he's more into the vinegar, malt vinegar.
Yeah.
Because the fish is gorgeous.
It really is. It makes me really want to eat his fish.
I want fried something really bad.
You know, I don't think I've ever had a really good fried catfish. Yeah.
Well, catfish is different. Catfish has a different flavor than the kind of fish that you like. You know, the cods, the halibuts.
Right.
They're very mild flavored fish. So you really have to add flavor to them.
Right.
The batter and that's why with tartar sauce and that kind of thing works best.
Yeah, I had a friend who made fish, and he makes it with he puts it in the oven, and he puts a little olive oil and like a lemon on top, and a little seasoning, and that's what he does. Now when I do it, I usually put it with butter and cheese and like a little light garlic salt, and it just tastes so good. But but none of it is fried like this. This is beautiful. All right. Hey, Michael Sage wrote in, and he is having zucchini. Now remember, Michael is a vegetarian, so he is having zucchini pomodoro penne with mozzarella and herbed ricotta. Wow.
It looks very gooey.
Yeah.
And I mean that in a very good way. Look how all you can see the spices and cheese, and it's just
beautiful. And it looks like he's got some peppercorn on the side.
Well, you know, and as far as the with zucchini, you know, this kind of pasta, you know, with cheese and sauce, you don't even need to add anything. You don't have to have meat. You don't have to have vegetable. So anything you want to add to it's just a plus. But you know what? Zucchini is excellent with tomato-based sauces. They go really well. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can actually, one thing that's really nice is to take zucchini and mandolin out strips, you know, thin, long strips, and make lasagna with it.
I haven't thought about that.
And then so you don't have to use your whatchamacallit, your noodles. So if you're cutting down on like a keto diet, and if you don't want meat, you don't even have to, because you've already got the zucchini as your pasta. So you can make a vegetarian lasagna that way.
That sounds really good.
And they really are. They're really yummy.
Okay, and then finally we have me, and the photo that you're looking at is what I had for breakfast this morning. It is a piece of homemade cherry pie by our beautiful neighbor Lurie Dean, with homemade whipped cream, and then on the side is a small piece of carrot cake with some store-bought whipped cream on the side. It was delicious, and it was also very healthy because, again, I'm eating fruits and vegetables for breakfast. It was really good.
I would not eat that.
Which part? All of it?
Well, first of all, the carrot cake, what the hell's wrong with it?
Nothing.
It looks weird. And yeah, you can definitely tell that's packaged whipped cream.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't like cherry pie. I don't like I don't like cooked cherries. So yeah, that's
interesting. Interesting. And this was made from this cherry pie. The cherry was actually from fresh cherries that were cut in half.
Yeah, but once they're cooked, they're terrible.
So anyway, it was really yummy.
Yeah, and cherry's my favorite flavor, my go-to flavor for just about everything. Popsicles and Starbursts and just yeah. I mean, cherry drink. If they have that, I always went towards like root and toot. I like root and toot and raspberry, sure, but I like the cherry one better. That or fruit punch are my favorites. But yeah, but cooked cherries, they just don't do it for me.
Okay, I get that. I totally get that. Okay, well, excuse me. Currently, LGBT people of color in America have a disproportionately high rate of new HIV infections. Golden Rule Services of Sacramento, along with the HIV Planning Council, want you to know about an important tool in preventing you from contracting HIV. Pre-exposure prophylaxis, aka PrEP, is a medication proven to be 99% effective in preventing HIV infection. To learn more about PrEP, call your local sexual health clinic in Sacramento County, California. Contact Golden Rule Services at sacgrs.org to get started on protecting your sexual health.
Now, let me ask you this. You
Sure.
might not even know. If it's 99% effective against HIV, is it not called a vaccine because it's something that you need to, it's something that you can't like take it once and then you're good forever with it. Is that right?
Right. This is something that you actually, it's a pill that you take every day. So it's literally the same medication. Well, I don't want to say literally, it may be a little different, but it's the same medication that they put you on when you have HIV to make so that you are undetectable. The virus is undetectable. So this is like taking that medication, which will actually block it from taking effect in your body. But some people, it is taking an HIV medication. So you're basically whatever, you got to stick to it and everything. But
It's
they're
kind
actually
of a birth control pill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
To make sure not to get pregnant, you take this every day to make sure that you're not going to get HIV, especially if you're sexually active and not in some sort of monogamous. Well, what is monogamous with men?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Never comes out.
Yeah. And so, but there are versions of it that where there's a different kind. It's called, I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's basically a 3-day prep, so that if like you're going to be going to a big sex party the next day and you're going to be doing all sorts of risky things, you can take like a pill the day before, the day of, and the day after, and it's supposed to like protect you. But this is still something that's kind of like some people, some places accept the 3-day prep, and some places are like, oh no, you need to be on, the full prescription, the full time, et cetera, et cetera. So
now this is not doesn't get rid of STDs either. This is just HIV.
Correct. Yeah. And then there's also a thing where called PEP, that is post-exposure. So that if you think that you've been exposed to HIV, you can, like within 72 hours, I think it is, maybe less, you need to go to a provider and get on PEP. And that will be like a week-long or so treatment of medication that will try to keep anything that's been exposed to you from taking effect. So,
and the most important takeaway from this is see somebody about your sexual, if you're sexually active and you're gay, you need to be seeing somebody to make sure that you stay healthy.
Right. And clinics, sexual health clinics are the best. You want to go to your doctor and all that, that's great. But if you can go to a place that specifically specializes in this type of thing, because I have a friend who was worried that he needed to be on PrEP because he has a lot of oral sex. And I assured him, no, you don't need to be on PrEP for that. Oral sex is like 0.0000001% chance of being infected by, performing oral sex.
Sure.
But that doesn't stop you from getting, even if you were on PrEP for that, that wouldn't stop you from getting, you know, like syphilis, throat
Sure.
syphilis and throat gonorrhea. I don't know if there's throat gonorrhea, but there's other things that you can get in your throat too that are STDs, and, you know, herpes and other stuff. So you really do need to protect yourself and, you know, be smart and go.
Well, and that's why these places like Golden Rule are perfect places for you to go,
Yes.
because they're confidential, and they're specific. You know, nobody wants to talk to. It's like talking to your mom about fucking the vacuum cleaner.
Right.
You know, you'd rather not have. You know, these people are your sex people doctors, and then, you know, you can go to your regular doctor for other things.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the great things about Golden Rule too is they are completely non-judgmental. They're very frank. They talk with you openly. There's no stigma attached, and they also cater mostly to African American and Black and Hispanic, Latinx communities. So they're culturally competent in what they do as well. And so it's such an amazing clinic. I'm so proud of them.
Well, you don't want to be judged by your mom's, you know, pediatrician.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And oh God, oh, I can't even imagine, because there was a day when I was a kid where if you got an STD, you figured out a way not to go to your doctor. You know, because mom's going to find out about that. You know she is. I don't care how confidential they say.
Right. Yeah.
These places are great because they're like you said, they're not judgmental. This is their job.
Yeah.
They're sex people. I mean, you know, they're sex doctors.
Right. And one of the great things about this clinic too is that if you do turn up positive for something, they will go with you. They will help you with the appointments. They will help you get to the appointments. They will help you with counseling. They are a full service, like they will make sure from the time that you're diagnosed to the time that, you know, you are fully okay on your medication, they will be with you the entire way, so that you don't so if you get scared, you don't have anyone to rely on, you don't have a way to get somewhere, they will make sure that you are there and you are taken care of.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. With that, send us an email at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. Leave us a comment at chubsgonewild.com. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/chubsgonewild. Please consider becoming a patron of the show at patreon.com/mattburlingame. Find Tom's movie and TV reviews at swannerandjudd.com. Find their podcasts on iTunes or on iHeartRadio. And find out more about my books at justkisstheguy.com, and check out my other podcast at biggaysexshow.com.
Big Gay Sex
Show. And give us a call at
408-69 Chubs.
Yes.
Oh, before we go, call out to Tim on his new sign. Have you seen it?
I think
for his
so.
house. He's got a sign that says Island of Misfit Boys.
Oh, yes, I did see that. That was awesome.
I got a friend who would love to have one of those signs, but his husband would never let him put it up.
Oh. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.